Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing? This is April Showers of the April Showers Network. I decided I would do a fun night because I I am a peaceful person. I am happy with where I'm at in my life. I am not trying to fall out with people. I respect people. I respect their opinions, what they say. I know what I know, and I guess they know what they know. But it's not, my goal was never to come on here and to be arguing with people about what I know. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Joshua, how you doing? I dropped the link. If you want to click on the link and talk about your favorite show, hold on. And see, okay, so it's not showing up even in blue. Okay, I thought I had changed the screen. Uh, my mission on YouTube, this was to help me with pain issues, cancer, going through depression, just still trying to help people, empower them, and tell them the truth. Uh, So that's what I wanted to do. That was my mission. It's not to argue with people. I do not discriminate against anybody due to their race, color, creed, religious, or political backgrounds. Those are like all of my cooks and different plaques and stuff. Hold on. Okay. But anyway, that was my mission. All I could tell people is there are some people on YouTube that are doing some great things. I also want to say you're not going to get rich off YouTube. There are too many other social media sites. Y'all don't support each other. And then AI is getting ready to take over. Then, of course, the bigger YouTubers, they never went back to help the small YouTubers. But this is my fun night. And I want to talk about shows that I grew up on. Family TV shows. That I saw coming up as a little girl. When I could watch TV. Because, my parents were sports parents. But when we did live in Chicago on Harvard, I started watching the soap operas. The Young and the Restless, which that's not a family TV show. So we won't even talk about that. But I used to watch The Young and Restless with my grandmother, Miss Nora Carter. At the time when I was watching TV went off at about midnight. They played the national anthem and the TV shut off. The first TV show that I used to watch was Green Acres and Petticoat Junction. Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, Betty Joe, all them three girls, and Green Acres became a spinoff. But I never saw any people of my skin color on those shows. Then came Judah. With Diane Carroll. And from watching Julia, I wanted to become a nurse. Diane Carroll was so pretty. She was very pretty. And she played a nurse. Then came to Waltons. And I could remember thinking, we doing something wrong in my house. Our house, because we're not saying good night to everybody. Those were, they gave you the illusion that, families stuck together back then. They worked out their problems and everything would be worked out. They gave you that false sense of families being perfect. I mean, they showed the kids act up and stuff, but they didn't show the reality. The reality. Then I can remember watching the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. Here's a story. You know, it was nice. But again, you looked at skinny people. They had nice homes. And all of their problems were just worked out. You saw nobody struggling. Well, then here comes Sanford and Sons. Oh, Rollo, I'ma punch you. Aunt Esther. Fred with his son Lamont. The cops. And Sanford and Sons, it was a great show. So the man, raising his son along. But all you heard was, "You big dummy." Wow. Can you imagine being called "you big dummy" your entire life? But yet, it was a good show. You had Aunt Esther and her church friends. They would go over there to make sure Fred was in line. There was a dance, the heart attack, that came out because Fred would always pretend like he's having a heart attack. "I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth." And then there was Good Times. I don't know how they called it Good Times because every week it was a struggle. Every time, every time you thought they was gonna get out of the project, something happened. But in a way, it was a realistic show. You know, love JJ, this kid Dynamite. He could paint. Thelma, and then you had the Smart Son, and thank God, Good Times showed a father in the house. It showed a married couple. But at that time, that Good Times was airing. And of course, it was filmed in the Chicago projects. Those of us that live this, you know, back then, there was a rule that if women were on welfare, no man could live in the house. But anyway, James was always losing a job. And as I get older, I think, man, some of the challenges that a James Evans had to go through of going on a job, being a man of color, to leave the projects every day, to leave the ghetto, riding on pissy, smelly elevators. Um, just that whole project environment, to leave work. I mean, to leave your home and to pray the gang members didn't do something to your kids or introduce your kids to the bad influences that was going on and the activities in the projects. And we're going to keep this real. 2, going on a job, probably being discriminated, probably knew how to do the job better, never receiving a promotion, to come home and try to be a man of the house. Ooh, when I think about it, they struggled, but they made it. And they were happy. And they had each other's back. Florida, Evans knew that the Lord would make a way. Then I watched Happy Days. The Fonz was the cool dude from the wrong side of the tracks. And they made it seem like everybody liked the Fonz. But how many of your parents would not let you hang around a Fonzie? when I look back on some of those shows, oh, they were great and entertaining. You know, they made me think. You just go to work. If you had an argument, everything would be okay. There was always food on the table. You know, other than good times, you know, they struggled. They struggled a lot. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. Hey, pre-retirement days. When I think about the Dick Van Dyke Show, I can remember you had a married couple that was sleeping in separate beds. Now, this is what I grew up on. I grew up at first seeing married couples not sleeping in the same bed. So, everything was going to be all right. They went to work, you get a nice house, you had an argument with your siblings, it would all work out. Hey, Tasha, that was something compared to TV now. Like I tell people, they're doing everything on TV. When I came up on TV, hey, a husband and wife wasn't even sleeping in the bed. And then, like I say, I could remember thinking, oh my goodness. I could remember saying, good night, Mom. Good night, Dad. Good night to my brother Andre. And we had a little hamster and we called him Fuzzy. And I would say, good night, Fuzzy. And then I'd be like, good night, young boy. Because I'm like, okay, if this is what they doing on TV, this how it's supposed to go. This is how everything's supposed to be. But one of my favorite shows was The Cosby Show. You know, like I said, I liked all of those shows, from Petticoat Junction to Green Acres, even the Beverly Hillbillies. But The Cosby Show and The Jeffersons were two of my favorite shows because the Jeffersons showed that you can move it on up. You can get a piece of the pie. It showed an interracial couple. George was sarcastic. I really liked that show. I liked their little doorman. I really liked that. I really liked the Jeffersons. Oh, Marla Gibbs. She was their maid. But it was really nice. Did anybody want to say what their favorite show was? Now, the Cosby Show raised it a whole notch because you show professional people, a doctor and lawyer, that made it. But they put real family matters in the show, dealing with teenagers, dealing with dyslexia. It was a realistic show. Hey, Pan, my friend from Greece, pre-retirement days. Hey, Wellness. Hey, Joshua. I'm just having a fun night, trying to laugh and smile. We got so much stuff going on in the world. Like, you know what? I made it. I made it. I made it to 63. I made it. My family, we made it. When my parents lost their jobs at steel mills, when I saw our town, uh, different towns go under, like uh, Caterpillar, and all of the steel mills closed down here. This town was like a ghost town. Uh, Knowing people in Detroit when the car industry, I did not starve then, and I will not starve now. And so I'm just trying to get away from the hustle and the bustle of talking about uh, things that I really can't control. Yeah. What people do, I can't control. I can't control. And I'm just not going to, you know, I'm not going to get up every day worrying about what the president of the United States of America is doing. Like I say, I done lived through hostage situations, you know, where I done dealt with other stuff going on that had to deal with oil too. Operation Desert Storm. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody talked about it. When my brother, when they said, "Oh, your brother won't go to the service because he's an only son," they're not gonna send your sister, my ex-sister-in-law, over there because they don't send married couples. Huh? They sent them. They fought an Operation Desert Storm, both of them, and we kept their two boys. So that's why, you know, I don't get all upset because I've lived this. You know, I've had my people over there in Saudi Arabia fighting over oil pipelines so the Bush family could still keep their generational wealth going. Hey, James Money. So this is just to get away from that and have some fun. Hey, if you, whatever you trust and believe in, keep believing in them. We have no control over what anybody can do but ourselves. We have control over our lives, our learning experiences, how we wish to be on this earth, whether we want to be light or dark or good or bad. We all have a choice. And I refuse. I'm getting ready to get away from the politics stuff because I've made it. I've made it. And I'm going to keep on making it. I'm going to keep on making it. Because like I said, I've seen all of this. You know, this is like, you know, history repeats itself. Remember? All the fashions come back. Everything happens. So find some fun time. You know, do some exercise and do some crocheting. Do some journaling. Learn how to make a t-shirt. Learn how to cook. Follow some of these people's recipes on YouTube. Our little community, go around to some of these people's shows. Listen to people talk about cruises. Listen to some people trying to tell you not to make the same mistakes that they made in life. Because I sure made a lot of them. I made a lot of them. But again, like I say, I I just can't be worried every day. They've been stealing money, you know. All of this stuff been going on, and I can't worry about things I can't control. But I will keep myself informed of my rights. Now, the Cosby Show was one of my favorite shows. They dealt with a lot of issues, uh, and it was great. Great parents. I mean, great acting. They did so many. It was a lot of great scenes, even from when the men got pregnant. But it showed how the whole family was involved, from the grandparents. See, nowadays, some of you people, y'all done got so bougie and stuff, you don't even want your kids around certain family members. I'm here to tell you, baby, don't never get so high and mighty, because the good Lord will humble you. He will humble you. And you know, I've seen a lot of zeros become heroes. So you better be careful how you out here treating people. Like I said, the Cosby Show, it showed the whole family involved, the grandparents. And most of the shows showed family members visiting. How many of you visit your family? And don't get it twisted. We all got family, you know. Everybody wasn't raised the same. Everybody wasn't raised in the same neighborhoods. But I want to say this, and I'm going to end Fun Night. Those TV shows back in the day, they showed some sense of family values. Some of them, they talked about the kids. They called them dummy, or he's the one that's always going to mess it up and all of that. And it showed those people survived. Let me tell you something. People do the best with what they can do, with the knowledge that they have. So instead of you getting in your mind that I don't fool with that person or that family member, or they think they went to college or they did that, learn the knowledge. Learn the knowledge. Sit down. Instead of you having in your mind, oh, they think they know so much more because they went to trade school or they went to college or they hang out with this certain group of people. Don't be mad at them. Learn how to appreciate them and the knowledge that they might give you. Again, family TV shows. Back then, they were clean, fun, wholesome. compared to what I'm seeing on TV now. But those were some of my favorite TV shows that I enjoyed watching coming up. And again, some of them did give me um, a false sense of reality, but it also made me want to be like some of those families. And that was close knit. Ain't nobody gonna mess with my family. I got grandparents. There was a mom and dad in the house. Dad went to work. Some mothers stayed at home, and some mothers had their own professions. But mothers back then, they did it all back then. Nowadays, some of these girls can't even cook. Oops, I said that. And again, my mother didn't want me in the kitchen with her, but I did learn how to cook some meals. But that was just a glimpse of a fun night. Like I said, you guys can decide how you choose to spend your time and your energy. Me, I have respect for everybody. I am not mad at anybody, but I just refuse. I'm just not gonna argue with people. Um, you can be scholars. Y'all can, some people can have it. Some people are gonna learn the hard way in life. As they say, FAFO, fool around and find out. But how many of you guys as a family played Monopoly coming up? Board games, chess, checkers, toss across. How many of you were Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts? You know, I was. I was a Girl Scout. I was a Brownie and a Girl Scout. 49. But again, it was nice to watch those family shows. And that gave us some, it was a false sense of reality. But then it was also giving you a blueprint of what a real family should be like. And this is April Showers, and I hope you enjoyed Family Fun Night, me talking about some of my favorite shows. I'm going to do another one, and I'll talk about some of my favorite shows and how TV has really changed. And people aren't even really watching TV that much anymore. But we grew up on television way before cable even came out, way before streaming, way before anything. When the TV went out, the Star Spangled Banner played, and the TV went out. This is April Showers. Y'all have a great night. Peace.